Subtracting mixed numbers is probably harder than adding mixed numbers, but if you're able to subtract fractions, that's a big part of the battle with subtracting mixed numbers. I think what most kids find the most difficult when they're subtracting mixed numbers is the borrowing process. So we're going to talk about that um, several times here. Subtracting mixed numbers, you just take the fraction portion, go to subtract it. And there is a step in there that if it's too small, if you're taking a fraction, a small fraction, and you're supposed to subtract a large fraction, then you have to borrow from the whole number. And can be the tricky step for kids. After you get done subtracting the whole numbers, or I'm sorry, subtracting the fractions, reduce to simplest form if necessary, and then go and subtract the whole numbers, and you're done. All right, so if we go to this next one here, got 11 and 9/10 and subtract 3/10. So we just go 9/10 minus 3/10. Okay, 9/10 minus 3/10. And this isn't one where we'd have to borrow because look, we've got a large fraction, 9/10, subtracting a smaller fraction, 3/10. The denominators are the same, and so we can just simply go 6/10 here. Now again, we want to go to simplest form, so think of the things I can divide 10 and 6 by, a common factor that both of them would have. They're both even numbers, so I can divide both by 2. So I get 3/5. That's simplest form. Now I can go to the whole numbers. That's 11 minus 4, and I get 7. So my answer is 7 and 3/5 in simplest form. All right, so that's nice and easy. Didn't have to find a common denominator. Didn't have to borrow because I already had 9 large fractions subtracting a small fraction. So they get much more difficult than this. All right, so here's 9 and 1/6 and subtract 3 and 7/18. Okay, so I've got 1/6 and I'm supposed to subtract 7/18. Okay, right now I've got different denominators. So I think of the things I can find. Let's see, 6. These are the multiples of 6, and I'm going to keep on going until I find something that's similar. These are the multiples of 18, and already you can see I found one. So here's a common multiple. 18ths would work for both. So I'll just leave this one in 18ths because that's a denominator that works for both of them. And I think about how I can get from 6 to 18. Multiply times 3. 6 times 3, if I do it to the bottom, I have to do it to the top. And I get 3/18. All right, so here comes my problem. I'm supposed to take 3/18 and subtract 7/18. But this is a small fraction, and I'm supposed to subtract a big one. I can't do that. So this is where I'd have to borrow from my whole number. So enter in my whole numbers here. 9 and, okay, which would be 3/18 right now, minus 3 and 7/18. So here's, okay, I just took one whole away from here. Now I'm going to bring that whole and put it right here so that that one will be large enough now that I can subtract this one and get my fraction. So again, I took one whole away from here. Now there's only 8 holes. There used to be 9. I took one of those holes, brought it over here. Now, when it comes over here, I'm going to bring it over just like I want it. 18/18. I want it in 18ths because look, I'm in 18ths. 18/18 plus 3/18 gives me 21/18. And now this is big enough that I can subtract 21/18 minus 7/18 is 14/18. Both of these have common factors that would go into there. They're both even. Divide by 2. Divide by 2. I get 7/9. Now I can do the whole numbers. 8 minus 3, that's 5. So that's 5 and 7/9. All right, let's try it again on a new one. So here I've got 1/4. I'm supposed to subtract 5/6. As I do that, see I have different denominators here, and I have to get them the same. Think about all the things I can do with fourths and so on. These are called the multiples of 4. Same thing with 6. Oh, and then you can see I found one there. So here's a common denominator. See that I found another common denominator right here also, 24. But I would go with the least one, the smallest one. So the least common denominator is 12, the least common multiple. All right. So I think about how I can get from 4 to 12. That's times 3. If I do it to the bottom, I have to do it to the top. 6 times 2 gives me 12. If I do it to the bottom, I have to do it to the top. And here I'm in the same position again. 3/12 minus 10/12. I've got a little fraction, and I'm supposed to subtract a large fraction. I simply can't do it. So now it's time to borrow from that whole number. Bring in the whole numbers. Instead of 5, I'm going to go down to 4. Now that's a whole, I borrowed a whole there. I'm going to bring it over here. Now last time I brought it over as 18/18ths, if you remember. You can see my whole come over here at 18/18ths. That's because my denominator was 18. So this time I'm going to bring it over as 12/12ths instead, because I'm in twelfths. So I got 12/12ths plus 3/12ths. So I get 15/12ths. And I'm going to subtract 10/12ths. 15/12ths minus 10/12ths is 5/12ths. All right. Now I can go to my whole number 4 minus 3, which is 1. So 1 and 5/12ths. This is already in simplest form because there are no common factors. 12 and 5 don't share any factors, so I'm already in simplest form. So this is how you subtract mixed numbers, especially that borrowing process. Like I said at the beginning, is probably one of the toughest things when it comes time to subtract mixed numbers. So hopefully that made it a lot easier for you.